Welcome everybody into week 4 of the Form Hunter. Sorry, it's a bit late this week. I'm currently recording this it's now ticked over to Friday at 12:17 a.m. when I started this recording, so it's been a bit busy. I was out refereeing all night and didn't get home, and I've been watching the Black Caps get absolutely demolished by England cricket, which hasn't been handy, but anyway, was a wee bit late and didn't manage to get any picks out for Thursday on the podcast side of things. But if you go ahead and follow my Twitter, which is linked at the top of my YouTube channel, EPSM_EdgarPat, you would have seen that I tipped out Arizona Wildcat and Kikarangi Blue as my best bet. And yeah, one of the roughies came in, and Kikarangi Blue was able to get the chocolates as well. So hopefully it won't be the longest podcast I've done. Try and keep it short and sharp, considering it's quite late in the night. So I might be a bit stumped for words and just not, I'm not 100% with it because it's quite late at night. But getting that out of the way, Waikato tomorrow at Cambridge, cheeky Friday night meeting. Only got 4 there that only 4 bets there that you could probably get amongst. Cashlodo, Flybye, and race number 4. Pretty decent horse, I have to say, and it's 4th up now, so fitness is peaking. This mare out of American Ideal with Telfers has been running in some handy races. If you go back here, it's 4th behind Outlaw Man, home in 56. Mimi Coco came out and shown its form and came 4th behind that, and then just didn't get a lot of luck in behind New York Minute last start. But I think it's a serious drop back in class. Not one of these horses are tickling my fancy at all. And over the 2,700 meters, 4th up, you can see why there's a bit of money around in 350 into 320 already. So Cashlodo Flyby is my best bet for tomorrow night at Waikato. Has actually won at the track, which is noteworthy for 2 starts with 1 win. I don't think the distance matters. The Telfers always have them rock hard fit and ready to go. So I think Ali Barron jumps on the right horse there and had a bit of money early on. So it should be just a steer and win job for me, really. Alicia Harrison's commented on that Pacing Hope might go a bit of a race. Arna Donnelly's stable flying, so have to respect that. Drawn inside us, probably going to go forward and land on speed and might get back, might hand up to Cashlodo Flyby and have the best run of the race. And over the 2,700 meters, you really want to be conserving your energy, and it's kind of a little bit tricky to lead them the whole way. You don't see it too often, but I think Cashlodo Flybye is going to be able to do that tomorrow night. Then we go to race number 5. Interesting little fixture here. 2,200 meters, the non-winners. We've got Caulfield on the inside, fresh up. It goes all right. David Butcher, he's just battles away, toils away. Fletch Maguire's going all right. Private Eye, Matthew White, Nicky Chilcott. It's one to respect, had a bit of money. Yeah, well, if you look at that record, 7 starts, 5 seconds, 1/3 from the 7 starts. Yeah, he's watching, loves the track. Everything's come from the track at Cambridge Raceway. But I'm just pretty keen to take the 11s and the 3s there on the Fisherman. Todd Mitchell, the trainer and the driver. It's a nice Mark III gelding. You go back in the form line, there's some handy performances. Second behind Hey Bartender, and we know how good that horse is. It's very talented for the James Stormont camp, and I really like that second there. It's toiled away in behind a Copley, Cyclone Charlotte, American Legacy. His form has gone on. He's ran a lot of seconds and he won, and then he's been shipped over to the Brent Lilly stables over in is it Victoria? I think it's Victoria over there. And it's gone on to win a race in Horsham or Charlton, a little bush meeting out there. But so the form's frank there. Didn't get a lot of luck. 6th and behind Midfree Lucker and Mr. Chip and Simply Sam. So there's been some good winners in that. Barry number 5's small race. Potentially could go forward or get a nice sit. Might land the 1-1 or 1-2. And just at the 11s and the 3s, I thought the Fisherman's worth a wee bit of a go. It looks like a very relatively even race. I think Private Eyes maybe over the odds as well. That probably leads, gets to the front. And Upsize Me's a wee bit of a dark horse. Not too sure around that horse. And Colonel Lincoln, not not too keen on that either, but you've got to respect the Ray Green Morris McKendry collaboration. So the Fisherman gets the nod for me in that race. Race 6, not going to tip it out at all. Bohemian Rhapsody should just win. Mr. Muscle was good last start winning. Crystal Hackett gets the drive. Bohemian Rhapsody gets Alicia Harrison. She's gone. So I think Bohemian Rhapsody should just be winning, but the $1.80 in a mobile trot, you can leave me out of that. Not willing to see. Not willing to take on the $1.80, even though it probably does just win. Then to race 10, Sir Henry Castleton. We've got a bit of an old battler here going around. Interesting race over the 2,200 meters, but just noting that there's no handicaps here, and it is a horse that's won 4 races, 90 starts, out of Monarchy. It's been out of form, but I just going to pull up Alicia's Twitter, as she had a fair bit of confidence around it, I'd like to say, about her chances driving Sir Henry Castleton, and being on the Unruly at Cambridge. I think usually 1 or 2 break on that front row, so willing to take the gamble at $31, because as I just about to bring it up, Alicia Harrison's pretty keen. So she says race number 10, Sir Henry Castleton off the Unruly. And last start, where he was traveling really well last time out, when he ran into a wall of gallopers, seems very bright and well, and race conditions should suit him. So hopefully he will go a much better race. And at 31s and $5.50, that sounds a wee bit promising. Certainly not saying get on, pile in. Shortened in on the tote, 31 and $5.50. Yeah, it's a bit of a shot in the dark there. I don't think it's a very strong race. So I think if he brings his best standing start manners, can somehow find the front or work his way around to the front, Alicia Harrison might be able to get him a good top 3, top 4 chance, and even a little bit on the nose. So that's the blowout chance for the day at Waikato. Then we go to dirty old Ashburton on a Sunday. Looking forward to that meeting. There's a bit of stake money going around. I haven't actually checked to see if the markets have been released for that. So I'll be breaking live news, live reaction with these markets, and hopefully they are out. I don't know if, would you look at that? The Group 2 2-year-old fillies, it is out, and Millwood Nike, yeah, the best bet of the day, $1.35. I mean, it should just be winning. The way it picked them up at Rangiora on Sunday, not Rangiora, Timaru, sorry. The way it picked them up should just absolutely bound in. And then, yeah, I think you can multi it up with Republican Party. We'll just see. Yeah, so that price isn't out yet. I think there's one more stakes race. Yeah, Group 2, here we are. Oh, Vinke B, $2.20. See, that's pretty good money actually as well. That's not bad. I was expecting maybe a little bit shorter. I guess With Style did win a nice cheeky, did go a nice race last start and did beat Vinke B, but just on the inside barrier draws there over the mile, Ashburton does seem to favour the inside runners there if you can get off the gate nicely and dictate the speed. So we go to the first race, and it's John Dunn and Graham Telford combining, and they've done so quite a lot on this horse. Knocked on the door a few times, and I really did like its running behind Galleon's Ambassador, who's lining up on Monday and was in the Anne Memorial final, graduates final, a couple Sundays ago. That looks like a good form race to be anyway to be looking at. And yeah, so Galleon's Ambassador went good in that, and then we've got a good placing behind, or a good fourth and behind Galleon's Ambassador, where we did a bit of work. But I think over the 2,400 meters, drawn barrier 7, John Dunn will probably roll forward with Barrytown, try and wrestle the front. And, you know, it seems like a wee bit of a weird race, but the John Dunn factor, he's familiar with the horse. It is a stand start, so beware, but that looks like the best each way bet of the day. Then we go to race number 2, another horse who's been knocking on the door, and that's Foxveux Gambler. Excuse me, with Cherie Tomlinson picking up the drive. A bit of another interesting race, but I think it's just been absolutely knocking on the door. You go into its form, we've got seconds in behind the Coleman, Sergeant Best, William G's Legacy, Frank Burns, Backburn. Yeah, all these horses that definitely are going to be race winners. So I think Foxveux Gambler with those scratchings comes in a bit from the wider draw and at 7 now. So same sort of tactics with Barrytown. It will sort of step nicely, roll forward and have every chance, probably another each way bet. Then you've got Millwood, Nike and Republican Party and Vinke B. I think you could probably multi all those up. And that would be a bit cheeky. Those three should be winning, to be honest. If they, the best version of themselves turned up on Sunday at Ashburton, they should be winning. So then we go to Monday down in Invercargill. Of course, Queen's birthday. So everyone won't be working and everyone will be watching Invercargill harness on their Monday because there's not much else going on. Take the grandma out for brunch maybe with your winnings or something. I mean, that might be what I'll be doing, I think. But who knows what Monday has in store. When you're going to be watching the Invercargill harness, we've got race 1, Justine Jackka. Tipped it out last week. Was handy. Just didn't get past Nublia Charme. Did think it was going to get there. Was a little bit, there's a little tiny bit of excuse there as Blair looked to come around to the outside of Nublia Charme. It looked like Nublia Charme had given up the ghost, but it kicked again and Maddie Williamson revved it up and got the best out of it. And Justine Jackka ducked back to the passing lane and just couldn't get by. And actually at the line, Nublia Charme was indeed pulling away again. But a bit of an interesting wee card down there on the Monday. I think Who's Better never got any chance. Bit of a tricky draw here, but barrier number 6 at Invercargill should be able to slot into the running line. You don't want to be locked up in on those pegs. So I think Who's Better, Nathan Williamson gets to drive his own horse again. Didn't get to pull the plugs last time. Never got any luck. So willing to go with it again, just on the fact that it never pulled the plugs. Then race number 4, we have Prospect Park. Very interesting and open race, this one. We've got not a lot of form to dissect, but I think Prospect Park, its fresh up effort was absolutely exceptional, to be honest. It's a 29 start, Mark 3 gelding, 29 starts for 1 win. And it's fresh up performance and behind the Big Lebowski, who's a fucking nice wee horse. Not wee, sorry, it's a huge bloody thing. The Big Lebowski is a big boy. And Hurricane Hedricks ran it bloody close. So I think that's some good form there. And last start never got on the track at Winton. If you're out in the breeze, it's pretty tough going. And Samantha Otley gets the drive on Monday. So Prospect Park probably pushes the button, has good gate speed, finds the top, runs a place, good each way chance. Then Waikiwi, race number 7. Really, really impressive effort first up. Brad Williamson jumps on. Interesting little race there with Springback Mason coming in second up. Kofi Monarch second up. Only one way, has been consistent as anything. And then the rest of those other horses probably just a wee bit out of their depth. And I think Waikiwi off the 10 metres, I don't see why it couldn't win again. Distance isn't a worry and only a 10-metre handicap, whereas its rivals have 20 and 30 metres. So it's got every chance to win again. Pay Me Speedy tipped it out maybe 2 weeks ago. And it comes around again in race number 9 with a great barrier draw. Mark Harrell gets the drive again. Interesting race this, really interesting. American Airtime on the back row. Hayes has been going great up in Canterbury. Art Attack's found its form again. What a razzle dazzle. What an absolute honest, consistent horse he is. What a razzle dazzle. Wrecking Bull's been a horse come alive, the Auckland Reactor gelding, and then the Big Lebowski, the Mark III gelding, has got a terrible draw, I'd say, for his race style. He's going to be locked up on the pegs and never get a run at them, especially at Invercargill on that smaller track. he's going to find it a bit tricky. Maybe able to get a gap late and run on for a top 3-4. I think Better Than Love doesn't have too much gate speed, but Swell Time will probably come out for a look-see. And I think Pay Me Speedy has to be driven for the front if they want any chance of winning this. They get to the front and they hold it, then it'll be pretty hard to run down. You want to be either leader or leader's trail at Invercargill. It's pretty hard to come from the back unless the speed is on. Then you might see them descending down the outskirts of Invercargill Raceway, but Pay Me Speedy be the best each way bet of the day down in Invercargill. Then we got Anne Marie with the best bet on the program. I haven't actually shown a lot of footage. I don't think I've shown any footage yet. It's just been me droning on. We will bring up this workout to look at because Anne Marie with the beautiful white blaze, this bet is Delight Mare. She goes good. Is it a mare? I might look like a dick if it's not a mare. Hang on. Yeah, it's a bay filly. Ah, yes. Beautiful little bay filly. Ran some good races. Then came out and was fourth and behind Gossip Girl, Joe's Rock, and Prima Donna. All decent horses, really. Multiple race winners. Gossip Girl went over to Australia, I think, for about $70,000. So there's obviously a bit of wraps around her. And we're going to bring up this workout because it's good form guidance for what we're going to see on Monday. Second and behind Magnetic Terror. Now we go to this last race, 2,200 meters. Anne Marie's got a brilliant draw to work with. Has a bit of gate speed. I think I think Nathan Williamson would have been working on it, working on the gate speed while it's had a wee bit of a break. It's sort of fresh up, it's had a nice workout to prepare, and its only main danger is Van Liberty, and that is following us out. So we should be able to park it. If not, maybe even hand up to it, and we can never go up the passing lane. But I would really like Nathan Williamson to keep it rolling along in front and dictating, and like a good horse should. So we're going to pick them up here in this workout. Very eased off the gate. Do find the top, even though we're down on the inside. The other brothers in here, Magnetic Terrors in here. Bit of race changes. Magnetic Terror awaits the passing lane, but comes out to the outside of the other brother, and then Anne Marie ducks back to the inside. We're not asked for an effort. Magnetic Terror's got a few slaps on the behind and really does hit the line with a bit of purpose, and Anne Marie just as much, I would say. Never really lost any ground when called upon, and almost was gaining on at the line. So they ran home at about 58 seconds, I think, from memory in that workout. Nothing too flash, but they weren't called for an effort. So I think Anne Marie, if it finds the top and can dictate, Van Liberty might have to come looking and burn a few cans of petrol to get to the top. And then Magnetic Terror's probably got no show. Definitely one for the multiples, first fours, trifectas and first fours is definitely going to be running on late. But yeah, I think this Terror to Love gelding is a good horse, but from that barrier draw, willing to leave it out. And if it does win from there, bloody hell, follow it, because it's going to be a good horse. So that brings us to the end of the New Zealand side of things for the weekend. We do go to Friday night, where we've got King of Trumps at Wagga. We've got Boom race 10 at Wagga, and I think Boom was with Mark or Sam Smolensky, I believe. And it's came out and it's run around in a very good form race at Menangle, and it's a very quick 152 mile rate, I think it was, and it was really hitting the line with purpose, and it hasn't run for months. So it's got an inside draw of Barry number 2. It's in at $2.20. We'll pick up the actual price right now, considering I've got the tab open. Sorry, race number 10, is it? Yeah, race number 10. So $2.20. Oh, so $2.75 on open. There's obviously been a bit of a scratching that might have impacted the price, but it did drift out to $2.80, 90, then back into $2.20 from that scratching. Delightful Angels on the drift. Boom Blake Jones gets on. He's a great driver. I think Boom should be winning on Friday night. He's one of your better bets. Then we got Dale Aguirre, who was impressive last start. Was with the Coaster House stable in New Zealand. Is now over with Blake Hughes, I think it is. And it was very nice winning sprinting at Newcastle last start with Jack Halligan driving. Race 1 at Albion Park. We've got an interesting fixture. There's a $1.50 favourite. And then we've got Timsy out on the arm, who's been very good, I think, in his last few starts. Not I think, I know. He's been desperately sort of unlucky and sort of just been looking for a bit of luck, really. He's drawn out in the arm. Might not be the worst thing. Might be able to slot into the 1-1-1-2. Should be savaging the line late. Lethan Burn seems to have trialled up quite nicely. Socrates was with Bob Butt. He's been going good over in Western Australia, and that New Zealand blood over there seems to be very well sought after and winning majority of those races. Then we moved to Saturday night. We've got Rock and Roll Do, who I think was in the Chariots of Fire or the Inter Dominions, one of those ones, and ran some good races then. It's fresh up, no trials that I can see on Australian harness racing website, but you've got to respect that. Dad and Dave's fresh up with the Andy Gath stable, and Finn Frost, who used to be trained by Kyle Cameron here in New Zealand. He's always an honest horse and tries his heart out every time at the track, and he gets a back row draw that he can work with. So wouldn't be too shocked with a Finn Frost turning up and getting the job done. Then we go to the Menangle on a Saturday night. The odds are out on Bet365, and they actually are for Melton as well. But we'll look at this one because Jazzy Star at $5 and $1.95 trialled up very nicely. Very keen on Jazzy Star race 1. Pretty keen on the horse. Used to be trained by Brent White over here in New Zealand. He's had a few issues over in Australia. He's galloped on the turn for home at the top of the straight at Menangle there a few times. Had a bit of unlucky sort of things happen. I think it's back in with Trevor Monday still training it up. And, you know, the $5 seems pretty nice shopping, and the $1.95 to place seems very good. You look through that list of horses, there's nothing too scary in it. So I think Jazzy Star on talent alone, that will get him a long way. Then we've got Debutante Party, who was down south early on in its career before getting shipped over to the Brad Hewitt stable. $7 and $2.25. You definitely could have a play on the each way there. It is fresh up off a trial from Goulburn. I think we're at 1 in a sort of 2-minute mile rate, so not asked for much, but, you know, did get the job done. We got a race 8. We've got 2 trotters from New Zealand. One with the Hackett stable is now with Darren Haycock, and that's at $16 and $3.80. And we've got one Apollo, $5 and $2. Darren Binskin's driving for Trevor Monday, I think it is. Interesting sort of race. The 2,300 meter starts at Menangle. Vatican Hill's definitely going to be appreciating that distance, and so is one Apollo. I think it's just a case of both those horses trot, then they'll go a long way. Then we go down to Sunday. We've got Keegan Banner and Dr. Steve in the Central Wheat Belt in Western Australia. Again, that New Zealand blood is crucial. Keegan Banner won a few stand starts at Addington Raceway for Trent Yesberg, I believe it was. Talented wee horse. I think it's a Mark III gelding. Tries his heart out. Was fresh up last week. No real excuses, honestly. It got the 1-1 off the mobile. Never just, and then about 600 to 800 meters out, it started going backwards. So read the Stipes steward's report, no abnormalities or anything, but it was taken to the trials and did actually win a trial in quite nice fashion. Sat behind the leader the whole way, and then at the top of the straight, come to its outside and ran over the top of the horse that led them out in the trial. So all indications that Keegan Banner will be putting on an improved effort and off with no handicaps on that stand start at Central Wheat Belt. It's a small, tight cornered track. I think it'll be hard to run down. And Dr. Steve obviously ran a nice second in behind Socrates. So that form's quite frank. And he will be running on Friday night. So if he wins, then you definitely got to have Dr. Steve in there. Then we've got Roll with Eunice, who's with Brent Lilly, Chris Alford, or Josh Duggan. I think we'll be driving him on the Sunday at Bendigo. And Roll with Eunice is one of those New Zealand horses that actually hasn't managed to win a race since going to Aussie, and it's been about 20 starts almost, I'd have to say, maybe about 10 to 20 starts. It's always been there or thereabouts. Gets pretty unlucky. I think it's probably going to get unlucky again with that draw. With the right tempo and the right sit, it can be running over the top of them late. You think you just have to be careful with roll with Eunice there. You probably put a little saver on it. Could turn up at some big odds, maybe a tote buster there. Then race 6, Renko was with the Stephen McRae barn here in New Zealand, sold over to Julie Douglas. And Jack Law gets the drive off Barry number 1. That's usually a tick, tick, tick combo there. New Zealand horse, Jack Law, Julie Douglas, Barrier draw 1, bit of horse with a gate speed. Yeah, you're in the right place there, shopping around there. Then Redcliffe, we go to Polka Dot Dance, who came second and behind Cover Girl, who was with Bob Butt. I think it ran in a nice fillies and mares race, and maybe even won one up in Alexandra Park recently from memory. And it went over to Albion Park with the McCarthy stable now. Came out and absolutely pissed and sat 3 wide for the last 800 and just kept on powering to the line. Polka Dot Dance actually was held up in periods in the run home there and was able to get onto the back of Cover Girl and then never really made an inroads. And I think Polka Dot Dance will probably, from Barrier 3, look to lead at Redcliffe, tight cornered track, might not get there on the gate speed. Haven't actually been able to look if the horses inside it are quick at leaving. So I think they should be driving it as the best horse in the race, and it could be winning. And then Tegan Banner, race number 4, classy horse, has some good NZ form. That'll be winning a race sometime soon. And I think Brittany Graham gets to drive for Daryl Graham. Their combos usually go good and they always find a bit of money. So follow the money trail there. And yeah, good luck with your investments. I think last week was pretty good. We got a few double-digit winners over the line. And if you follow my Twitter, you would have been able to see I tipped out a cap lead tonight at Addington. But yeah, sorry I've been a bit busy. Hope you could take a bit off this podcast, and we'll see you next week. Of course, don't forget to hit the like button or tell your mates and get them on board and hit the subscribe button. And hopefully I get a few winners for you guys along the way. So hope you guys have a good weekend and go well.